Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps SRE DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNSEs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you. How to set the conditioning in Python? So yes, in Python we have many ways. We have if else, we have if else nested one. So all these things which you can use for conditioning. So we have a if statement, we can use it. Else statement also you can use it. Elif, multiple else if statement also you can use it. So look at this here. If and condition. Condition you can use from the somewhere which you have comparison operator. If you remember that, you can use it there, condition, and then if it is true and false, accordingly it will get into the statements block. So look at this one example here. All these comparison operators you can see at one page: equal, not equal, greater than equal, less than, and less than or equal to. So here you have two variables defined in the one line: x and y. X is equal to 7, y is equal to 5, and here condition is simple statement is if x is greater than y, then print x is greater. If it is true, then only it will, you will see the print. If it is false, it will not come inside it. So simple way to put it up here. You have another statement which you can use it: if else also. So if else also. So there's one more way to use it. This is called ternary operator. So here statement, if it is true, condition is true, then do the statement, else the statement. So like that you can. So first statement, it'll run if condition is true, else this statement will run. So this is called ternary operators also. So look at this one more example here. If else, so here number is equal to 5. If number is equal to 5, print number is 5, else number is not 5. So in this case, it will print number is 5 because this is equal to number is 5. So if else, this is how you can put it up. This you have also one example. So if number means here when you say number means here you are not using comparison operator, but here you are saying, hey, if number is defined, is it number is defined? Yes, number is equal to 5 is defined. Then okay, so number is defined in truthy. So like that you can use with the truthy and falsy values also. Here you can use with a boolean also. So if Python course, if it is true, you can do that also. Okay, so here in Python we can use a not if also. So here if Python, if number is not equal to 5, then print this one. So that is also can be done. But opposite way you can also do that. So here if let's say Python course is equal to true, if not Python course, then print this one. So opposite way. Okay, so that's truth table. This is, you are aware of it, right? All of you. All of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the truth table. So we have logical and, or, XOR, NOR. So this is something which you can check this. Here we have multiple if conditions. So here you see if number is equal to true and Python course. So if it is it true or not? Yes, true. And Python course, is it true? True, yeah. So here true and true, what will happen? So here true and true, this is the end, right? So true and true means what? True, correct now? True means 1 and 1 is equal to 1, correct? So here this will print, yeah, this will execute. Here if number is equal to 17, which is wrong, this means this is false, or Python course, which is true. So here false or true, what will happen? False here or. So false means 0, 1 means truth. So false and truth, which will return true. So here you see this will execute. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So here also one more example for ternary operator. The number here you say bigger is a statement. If age equal to age greater than b. So age greater than b, this is not the case, then it will print the smaller. So the results of this ternary operator will become smaller. Okay, so now let me show you some examples of running the if else also. So here I have conditioning, and here this page you can use it for Python conditioning. So this one is simpler. Okay, so here you have a three variables x, y, z, and here if x is greater than y, is it true or not? So x is greater than y, so y is 4, 7. So actually yes, it's true. So this will print here. But again, if you see, if x is greater than z, then print this one. So here you have a two condition, one condition inside that statement itself, you have two conditions. And here you have m n 75, m is less than n, a 9, which is true, then this will be printing. So this is the way you can use it. And here it is. Now one more examples we have here. Same way, this is the one way, this is another way. If else, you see that here. If else, here you have multiple. If true, print this, else print this, like that. So multiple here inside that you have a if condition inside the for loop block, that is also okay. Okay, so now we'll go into the iterators. How do we set the iterators? So Python iterators, they're like a looping. So we have a two loops available, I think three, I guess, in Python. We have while loop, we have for loop, and we have until also. So let's use some here. Okay, so this is the tutorial. So let's use this for. So directly. So here you see that for I is equal to, in the first run, it will run how many times? So range is here. It will run 1 to 11. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up to the 10. So this I first time will become 1, second time it will become a 2, third time will become a 3, like that up to the 11. So you are printing it I value every run, and here you are doing conditions. So if the moment I is equal to 5, then break this loop. So this loop means this statement you want to run it as many times you want. So here the screen, and see here up to the 5. If you remove this one, it will run up to the 11. So here you have up to the 11. So this is the way you can use for loop, looping and iterative. So here you have one more example. Check it out. So here you have a for x in colors. Colors is your list. So that many this many times that your loop will run. How many times? One, two, three, 4 times. And every times you are printing print x. But here you have break statement. If x is equal to blue, then break that. So here, can you please tell me what will be print? What print will happen? Any one of you?
It will print the first two value, red and green, and
Red and green, yeah. So this is the for loop again. Now while loop. So we have a while loop here. So if it's the opposite way, while have a certain condition. So if while x is true, then only it will get into that. So while loop, remember that for loop works on the list of element number of times, but here while loop works on the condition. This is a condition. So what it says, hey, while x is true or not. If it is true, then only you run this many times and run as long as it's become a true. Okay. So here while is true, while x is true, yes. So here it says while x is defined or not. Yes, x is defined. So run it. So print x, run it, and then here you it first time it will run 6, and then here you are reducing it. Here this is the operator. Okay. So here you are reducing the value of x by 1 this time, and then here you're saying this is a break statement. If x is equal to 3, then break this statement. So here first time it will be 6, then 5, then 4, and then 3, and then only it will break that. So you will have a return 654. So let me run this. So remember that there's two loops, while and for. Until is also there. So for works on the number of list. That means for will loop the number of times defined uh, in the element list. While will work on the whether it's a true, then keep running, and the moment is become a false, then stop it. Something like that. So that is a second types of loop we have. So the same thing which we have here for this is the example of infinite loop. Here is always true, and here again break statement, and then so on. Okay, so loop is here. So practice it some of the stuff.
how do we troubleshoot
And
this, Rajesh, in case if there is something you got stuck and you need to know, like, in the programming somewhere you got stuck, like how do you debug, how do you troubleshoot that?
so in a let's say if you use editor, each line you can execute it one line by line. In editor, those functionality is there. For example, the one which you see is a pie chart is there, pie chart. So in this editor, we have some ways to edit actually. But one of the, let's say if you want to edit through if you want to debug through the programming, the best way to use print statement and then uh, continue doing that. This is one of the simplest way to debug it. See that where you are and then continue that. You can also debug through the exceptions handling. So try and caches exception. So right now, let me show you some example for the Python try cache example. Try cache exception. So I think I have a blog, but let me use that here. So here, this is the simple one. So here you are doing, hey, try first running this one, and if there is a problem here, then do one thing, print this one. So every time any statement if you run, you should try to do that. That's way this is easy for you also if the right results is not there, and you know uh, for for programs also. So
Yeah,
this is
Rajesh.
something which you, Yeah.
So in
Uh,
some of the programming, like we have this variable type mismatch, or something you're trying to pass the different type of value, it will throw an error, right, with the error number. So is it possible to
right.
catch by error number by error number in the exception part?
See, there's a type conversion in Python which automatically happen. But sometime what you are doing, for example, I'll tell you, name is equal to Rajesh. So here, if you see that example, this is a number type, and this is the string type. Now here, what you do, age is equal to x plus name. This is a really problem, right? Because here age to this is the operator plus operator. It required both a number, right? So
Yeah.
here type conversion is a problem. So in this case scenario, you will have an error, and that error you will be very familiar with it. Now, to avoid that such kind of things, again you see that error and solve that, or also you can hard code that. Hey, you have to take that argument name. It should be number also. So now not hard code. You can put the conditions. It should be number also. So first you say if check the status. I mean check the type of this. So if name type. Um, so just a second. Python Python check. So here, if you do that, this will be easy for, uh, sorry, data type actually. It will be easy for you to, have the programs ready and stuff like that. So here you see that this is a simple example. Let's not put it in proper way actually. So let's use this. Look at this here. Uh, so here print type X, and here print type name, and here uh, so this way, I mean there are lots of logic you have to build it over the period of time. So see here integer and a string. Okay, so now here you have a detail. Now what you can do here, you say if this if this one is equal to number, and here you can use logical operators, and this one is equal to number, then only you do x plus name, something like that. So this way you will have a less error actually. Getting my point?
Yeah, Rajesh. Suppose if it fails, it will give an error number, right? Some error number. Normally, they will store as a error library, like any programming language, right? So, like that, if you get multiple errors, we can catch those multiple error numbers in the exception section, right? And we can give
Yes,
them as a
here you can do that. Yeah, here.
okay.
So
So,
yeah, here you can do that.
and if we give like
uh,
except equal to number or
right.
something, because except colon is there. I just want to know, like,
Yeah,
how do
so
we pass?
uh, that you have to find out that exact exception. I'm
Okay.
not having the
Yeah.
exceptions number right now, so
Okay.
let me try to find out exception handling based on number error code. So uh, that will again depends on that whatever the error you get it, no,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure,
uh,
Rajesh.
you
Got it.
will try that.
No problem.
So let to find out actually. Yeah. Okay. So now, so if you want to learn this one, so we got comfortable with the conditional looping. Now function, correct? So first thing, why we use function? Guys, any code which you think you are repeating in the program, then don't write it. One time if you are writing, that's okay. Any statement which you are writing multiple times, same code again and again, maybe inputs are different, variables are different, then don't do that. So what we should do, best practices, convert into the function. So I've shown you so many functions used while demoing it, but you can write your own function also. So how can we write our own functions? Let me show you. So functions, here we have so many functions available in Python, types of function which you call it. We have a user defined function which I'll show you. Built-in functions, many of these I told you. And I told you also dir, use dir, which will display the list of function. Then we have lambda functions also, recursion functions also, and so on. So how do we define the function, custom function? So here, when you define the function, we use the def and define, and the name of the function, and what arguments you'll pass to the function that you specify. These arguments can be any type of it, depends on the supported value in the statement. And a statement that return value, it is important to return something. That's a good practice, though you can ignore it if for the time being. Well, it depends on the requirement again. So look at this here. There's one function which is called def add, and then there's two parameters they are passing it, x and y. X and y you have to pass it while using the function. And then here nothing great. They're formatting it. Print f function. Remember the format function in the string? They're formatting, printing x and y in specific format, and then after that returning that x plus y. That means if you run this add, you will get the addition of x and y in return. Are you comfortable? Very simple way to put it up. All of you? Hello?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So now here, uh, look at this here. Some functions you can also user input through the input functions. So here in username is equal to input, which will prompt you, and here enter the username. Whatever the you enter, that will become a value for username. That's the input function what you have. Nested functions and stuff like that. So let me show you the first one demo for functions. So here, come to this one, and here function and method, and examples will be there here. So this is one simple function. Let me run this. So here you have a function sum a comma b, and this is a function simple one, return a plus b. Now how do we call the function? So here we're calling the function sum, and the parameter we are passing 3 and 4. This can be anything literally x, and here you're printing it directly. One statement also you can write it, print x is equal to dot 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 inside that, but it's okay. So here's the screen, run this, and you see 7. Simple. So this is the function def. This you remember that, return anything, take it whatever you want to do. It can, right now it's just one line, it can be hundreds of lines also. Let me show you another one function. So here there's one function simple one, there's one function simple one. So here let me use this here, or this one. Here you see that there's one function you're printing, and here you're calling the function. No arguments here, argument-less functions. So simple. And hello, this is the one. So here actually you can do whatever you want. It's up to you. You know, uh, depends on what you want. You can put addition, subtraction, if condition, for loop. Many things you can do in the code and return after the processing whatever you want. So you
In
can
case
put it
if you
up.
pass a parameter, what is the type you need to pass? Just like typeless parameter you need to pass.
Ha. So because Python is very loosely coupled, so you can pass the parameter. But let's say while using that, for example, let me show you the last code. Here you are passing the 3 and 4. Here 3 and 4, and here return. This is depends on the plus operation. So here if it is a number, then it's okay. But let's say if you pass, okay, this is a string. I'm passing the string, and then here it's not auto conversion. Here this is the here, so here you got that this error, and here this you can use for exception handling. Type error, unsupported operands type s, and integer and string. So here you have integers. So I can convert into this string into the number also. So how can you do that? So here I'll put it in and that conversion, but it's not making any sense actually. So here here, so I pass this, wait a second, integer and this string, and this, let me just again hold on. Python uh, Python convert in string into integer. So int, I use the int, right? Yeah. So I'm making some mistake. Let me check. So here Python 7, it's a string. Oh, sorry. Where is it? Int. Not good page actually. The type is correct. Uh, int 10. That is I'm doing just a second. Hold on. So here I'm passing some int 10. So it will convert. What is the error? So int has a value error, invalid literal for int with the base. Okay, so conversion is not happening. Fine. So you should return something like this section. Let me try. Int. This is a good one. Let me try this one. Wait a second. So here, let's call this one. Here, number is equal to int and Rajesh, and here and printf num num print num. So let me see if this is happening or not. Some problem.
You give the bracket after the print, the last line. Print bracket.
Oh, sorry. Valid literal. I'm using correct one. So here print type num, that's type, and check this is okay. Convert float, that's okay. I want int. Where is it? Int string. This is what I'm doing. So let me copy this code. So here there's a string is gg, this okay, and here I am printing the integer string. So this is string, okay, and here is string. This is correct, and print here. So let me first run this code, and it's working. So why that was not working? Okay, let me put it up in this uh, sd is equal to Rajesh and here use the sd. So here sd is equal to string integer now print now, simple. So hopefully it should be working, and print 10, that's okay. Why my code is having issue then? sd is equal to Rajesh, this is string, and if number is digit, integer is equal to int. Let me put it something in 42, 34. Now it's displaying, but here I have to convert into the binaries code. Okay, I understood the problem with this. So let it be Rajesh, and now I'll convert into binaries. So Python here, Python convert string that was not getting converted string to binary. So binary number. So ASCII number basically we call it. So this is the one, and here you have a string hello world, and we have to use this one to convert into the binaries. So enjoy. Okay, so yeah, this is conversion is not happening, so we have to use this function to convert into binaries. So that was the error. Okay, so this is the function we have, and so on. Now there's one more function which we have, which we call lambda function. Lambda functions in Python. So what is a lambda function? So lambda function is a function which is without name. That's all. So if you look at this here, we had always name. Uh, somewhere so here you have a name, okay, and then you use the name while calling the name here with the different parameters. But lambda function is without a name. Okay, so in Python, an anonymous function is created that is defined without a name, while normal functions are defined using def keyword in Python. Anonymous functions are defined using the lambda keyword. Hence, anonymous functions are called lambda functions. Simple. So now if you see that how to use lambda function in Python. So if you see that here, just you specify lambda and then whatever the arguments and followed by expressions. So lambda function in Python has the following syntax like this. Lambda function can have any number of arguments, but only one expressions. So arguments you can pass many things, but expressions you have one. The expression is evaluated and returned based on the arguments, and the lambda function can be used wherever function objects are required. So here if you see that one example for it. So here uh, double is equal to, so double is one variable, is equal to lambda, and this here if you see that here arguments, so argument is x, you're passing it, and then what to do with arguments. So here you are what to do with the expressions. So here you are multiplying with the 2. So return for double, and if you pass 5, which is arguments, it will become a 10. So here you don't have a name of the function, and you can use that like multiple times. So you change this double 5, print double 5 to 10, and automatically that will, interpolate and then do the stuff. So this is the lambda functions. So lambda functions, here it's a pattern. If you see that here, f is the function object that accepts the and store the results of the expression. You start with lambda, which is a keyword, and then express arguments, and then colon, and followed by expression. So you can pass multiple arguments, mind it, but only one line expressions. Are you understanding, all of you? Here you see that lambda, two arguments you have, a and column b, and you are passing an expression a plus b. So this is the quickest way to work on it, Lambda functions.
Not very
Okay,
clear,
so
Rajesh.
here,
Can you prove it some example so it will be easy to
yeah,
understand?
I'll run this few examples. Look at this top one. So here you have a def old way to define the function and then function arguments return value. Now you look at this animations little bit carefully. What has happened? You just added lambda functions and then arguments will become your arguments from there and return value whatever you want. Do that. Okay. So this is the way. Now what is the difference between normal function and lambda function? So normal function, in order to define the function you need to use def. Here in order to define the lambda function you have to use the lambda keyword. Again here in a normal function you must use return statement to return the value, but in lambda function there is no return statement. In the normal functions, in this case the normal function return an integer, but in the lambda function, in this lambda function return the object. Okay, there's a difference between integer and object. The executions time, there's a difference here. The execution time of program is relatively slow compared to lambda function. So if you use something with the lambda function, you can save little bit of CPU and RAM compared to the normal function. Okay, here in normal functions, need more time to type the code, which require 4 lines to do add 3 numbers, for example. Here, just 1 line or 2 lines will work for you. So requires only 2 lines to add 3 numbers. So this is the something which you have functions. Let me show you some example for it. So this is the tutorials dedicated for this, and here this is one simple example here. Look at this. So here you have integers, my list, and here you are creating the new list. New list here you are performing list filter by lambda. Filter is a built-in function for the list. Okay, so here you are seeing program to filter out only the event items from a list. So here you have a complete list and you've been given a task to filter it out only even items, which is multiplied by 2. You know that. So here you have just, this is the function which you have. This is a lambda function. So here lambda, because every functions lambda function is defined by lambda, and this is your arguments because you are running the filter method. It will work with x will be replaced automatically with every element of it, and if this element is mod by 2 is equal to 0, which is, you know, that even I to find out the even items, then store that value, that x, into the my list. So this is a filter function, mind it. Inside the filter function you are using the lambda function, and get it done. You created a new list here and output will be like this. So let's run this example of it. So this way you can use it. Another examples you have multiplied here and so on. Understood, all of you?
Any special definition is required for lambda, or just like we can use on the
Definition means lambda has to be there, and then it's a one-line expression actually.
that's it.
Just save time and memory. Two advantage you can say. Programmers will save some time, and you can reuse multiple times, same one, and then it will save CPU and RAM also. Okay, so now last topic, if you have understood all this stuff, last topic is class. So what is class? So I think we need to understand a little bit of OOPS concept also before that discussing about the class. So class means what? So here we have a class like a human, and once you define the class, you have multiple objects of it. You can initialize multiple object from one class. So multiple human can be one. So let's say class is defined by someone. Multiple human, we got it. All of us, we are object actually from the class which is called human. There's one class car, you write it, and you can create a multiple car from that object for the memory. Mercedes, BMW. You can override some of the values. So car, and you got the Mercedes, BMW, and all the different properties of it. So girl is a class, multiple girl is object. Boy is a class, multiple boys, different types of boys is objects. Okay. Student is a class, different types of student is an object. Like that. So class and objects we more or less we understand. So how do you declare the class? That is what I'm going to talk about. And from the class you create what? Object. You can create how many objects depends on your requirements. Okay. So like that. Animal is a class, multiple different types of animal is an object. So yeah, for defining a class, you need to have certain pattern for it, which you can use it for this. So how do you define a class? So you can write a class and then name of the class and colon. This is how you define the class. Okay, this is a student, and how do we use the object for it? So here you create a class, and after that creating a class, here you are creating object. So student is equal to student parenthesis will become object. You created one object named with student like this. So let me show you this one. So when you create a class, you have a something called constructor. Look at this here. This is the example of class. So here of my object is equal to example, and this is the one class example. So here if you see that they'll have a default constructor. So what are the constructor? So constructor are generally used for instantiating an object. Okay, so you find a constructor in every oops concept actually in Java, C++, Python, Go, Lang, PHP, everywhere. So constructor are generally used for instantiating an object. Okay, instantiating an object. The task for constructor is to initialize assigned values to the data member of the class when an object of the class is created. Again, the task of the constructor is to initialize assigned value to the data member of the class when an object of the class is created. So during the creating of object from the class, whatever the data members you have it, this constructor assign the values to it. So in Python, what are the default constructor? When you create an object from the class in Python, what is the default constructor which we have? So this is the default constructor init. That means when you call the class to create an object, first constructor is being called is init method. You see that now you saw that each type you have all this kind of thing. So this is called method, init method. It's called the constructor and is always called when an object is created. So look at this here. This is one example of class. The class name is geek for geeks, and here you see def init. So this is the default constructor. So the moment you create an object of this class, this will be running by default.
Why
And
do we
then set
pass
that
this parameter as self, Rajesh? What is the reason for that?
self means same class.
We don't
Self
need to
means
pass
myself.
that one, right? We can pass it as a empty also, right? Why specifically
Yeah,
provide?
yeah. Yeah, you can pass it empty, but here we are using that self. I mean, you're not passing any variable from outside. So here you're using default constructor. So that way
Okay, is
you're
it a
saying, hey,
mandatory? It's a
I'm
mandatory to
referring,
pass.
no, many places you can ignore it. Okay, so this is the default constructor init. The default constructor is simple constructor which does not accept any arguments. Okay, so here if you see that there is no arguments is added in this, that's the reason you can call it a default constructor. Its definition has only one argument, which is a reference to instance being constructed, that means self. Now parameterized constructor, so I'll show you the parameterized constructor which is here. So okay, in this one you don't have a parameterized, yeah. So parameterized constructor, uh, uh, constructor with the parameter is known as parameterized constructor. The parameterized constructor take its first argument as a reference to the instance being instrument constructed from known as self, and then rest of the arguments are provided by the programmers. So here this is the flow. What happens when you create an object. So here you are creating object from the example class. So object is created using new function, and then after creation you have to initialize the member variable. So object is initialized using init function and object is ready. So two stage of creating an object. So here what happens, first thing, object is created using the whatever the function you define. Parameters are passed on to the init method to initialize the created object. Here when you call this one, we can also pass a parameter here to initialize variables. So this is the process of it. Now this is one example of it. There's one more example. So I'll show you that in a simple way. Just a second. So here you have a oops concept and class and object. And here I am using one simple one to begin with. And that one is so this is the good one. So class car. Okay, so look at it, understand this code very well. So here class defining the class car column. Now this is the class attributes. That means any time you create a object, wheels will be 4. For example, any times you born, you have a 2 hands only, right? So that's the attributes, correct? So same way, anytime you create a car object, you'll have a 4 wheels. That's a set attributes, fixed one. Now here you have initializations for the, this is called constructor, which you can see, and here you can pass it for this method, color and style. This is the attributes you are passing, uh, color and style and self. So self dot color, here you are passing color, and self dot style is equal to style. So you declare that whatever the argument you pass, you set the color and style. Now here method 1, method 2. So two method you have it. What you are doing, you are using this member variables, member attributes to pass it in the method also. So here you are passing one function you are creating, so description self, okay, and here print self dot color, which is here, and self dot style, which is here, style. So whatever the value of self dot color and self dot style is from coming from here, color and style. You see the color and style. Here you are just showing it. Here what you are doing, you are changing the color. So here your self means same class, and color, which is here, is coming as arguments. You are changing self dot color is equal to color, and whatever you pass, basically it will be changed. Okay. So now here if you see that first or add first objects is here. C is the object, car is the class name which you have here, and then you are passing two arguments, black and sedan. So black is the color, first argument. Sedan is a style, which is second arguments. Now color will become this one, self dot color, style self dot style. So this is set. Now in this method it will be used same thing, color and style, self dot color, self dot style. So here you are printing what is self dot color and self dot style, and here you are changing self color is equal to sedan. So here you are changing the sedan will become a sedan. So that means you create a car with black and sedan. I mean, you create an object with black and sedan. So here what you are doing, you are creating object. After creating object with black and sedan, your description, here you are showing the description. Whatever this will run, it will show you. Now what you are doing here, you are calling again the method. This is object. Okay, here you are creating using the object, and here you are saying change the color. So you are changing the color with white. So here this functions will be there. So here earlier it was a black, now you are changing the color to white. So here you are changing the property for the object which you created, and again show description, and here is this time, first time you have a black and cdn, second time white and cdn. You change the property of it. You can also delete the attributes which you declare, and you can delete the object using that. So that will memory will be finished. I mean, will be clear. Let me run this code. Here, first time you have a black cdn, and second time you have a white cdn. So here, what you did, nothing great. You created one class, this much. After that, created an object, this much, and then objects you are asking to function. For example, I'll put it in simple way. You are born with two hands, two legs, and you are lying somewhere, just like creating a class, creating object. Then you have been asked to walk or talk or run. This is something here you are calling it func method. This method means, hey, walk, talk, run, or whatever exactly. Are you understanding, all of you? And then finally, die. So delete colors means delete your hand, means destroy your hand, and delete C means destroy you as an object. Are you understanding, all of you?
Where is the starting of class and ending of class happens? I just like you
Here,
starting initially with the class
this
car. After that, what
line
is it?
number 1 to line number 1 to 70.
Okay.
So this is identifications actually. By that you, yeah, this little bit confusion, but yeah, this takes identifications. So if you follow this identification, automatically it will understood. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
so this is something which you have to do that. So let me plan for it coding. So let's say if I give you some example, some assignment. Okay, so first thing, if I give you assignment, first thing you have to convert, step number one, convert to pseudocode. Pseudocode means this is the one of the art actually. Without pseudocode, you should not start programming. Okay, so pseudocoding means pseudocode. You see that some example here. This is the just an example. It's a programming practice. Okay, so here, like this one example, you have to convert all the assignments. You have to convert into pseudocode. Not a good example actually. I'm looking for something, some example. Let me put it a Python. Hmm, something like this. Not a good example. I'm getting it. I'll share with you later. So something like how many variables is used, will be used, how many operators will be used, how many functions you need it, how many classes you need it. All this thing you can create it basically. So convert into the pseudocode step by step. After that, you create a class. Okay, always create a class. Inside that, you have a init function anyways, but you create a four functions. For example, create, read, update. This is the way you should do that. We call it a CRUD actually function. And update, and last one, delete. Okay, so here create means you can let's say example, student records. So add student. Okay, then here read, describe student, describe student. There's one method for it. You want to update that, so update student record, student records. And then finally delete the student records from this year or something. So delete that, delete student. So now student is your Okay, is a class. Add student, describe student, and now here you write function. So here this is the add function. Add student is a function, right? So you write up functions, whatever you want to do that in that. This is the way. Here you can have for loop if you want to do multiple addition or and conditions also if and for and if whatever that expression and operators you have to use variable and operators. Are you understanding all of it? So here you use variables with operators. This is the way you have to design the program and then call it and it should be okay for you. Are you understanding all of you? Now inside that you have a lots of inbuilt functions that is a challenge actually. So you have to practice it. There's no other way. All the inbuilt functions you have to use it, practice it, and then get going. Okay.
Rajesh,
Any questions of?
if you define a function like user-defined function and
Hmm.
and create another function user-defined, can you call a function inside a function?
Function inside a function, yes, why not? Why remember that here I created so many examples I showed you. There we had some function inside a function. So for example, yes, you can do that. Hold on, let me quickly search for it because that will be faster. Python function, custom function using the inbuilt function. There are so many examples actually. You can use it actually. Custom function is at a custom function also. You can use it. So let me see if we get lucky quickly, we can get it. So we use no that I showed you the function inbuilt function which you use it inside the function to process faster.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to find out why do we need a class when we're able to create function inside a function?
So class basically is a way to combine the multiple function and initialize all this property in one code. For example, let's say function is I'll put it in this way. You are the person, and I'll ask you, hey, move your hand top to bottom. I mean up and down. So you'll say this is a function. But if I say whole body and I want you to move, walk, run, see all this thing, so then in that case you need a class for it, object, whole object. So like that. So if you want to only do one things, then one function is required. But multiple function required when you want to run the software, entire software. So here you see the simple example. This is your custom function and this is a built-in function. And here is arguments. Very simple. Correct? No? Okay. More questions, guys?
Rajesh, you're talking about this virtual environment, right? While setting up the Python, if you're not setting the
Yeah.
virtual environment, it won't get created. Basically, you won't be able to access Python itself. So how do we create
No,
the
no, no,
virtual?
no.
How do we deal with?
No, no, no. Whenever you call, see, there is a one way. Virtual environments created automatically the moment you call the Python. But sometime you have to create you have to run multiple applications. So for each application you want to create a virtual environment, then you can also that one also you can do that. So for example, virtual. So for this one, you don't need to do that actually. So if you see that virtual machine which is here, it has all the instructions here. So look at this. Python virtual machine is a program which provide programming environment. The role of PVM is to convert the byte code instruction into machine code, which I explained you that last time, so that computer can execute those machines code instruction and display the output. So interpreter convert the byte code into machine code and send that machine code to the computer processor for executions. So this automatically happens, and here you see that you have a source code in Python, and then after that compile using the Python compiler, and it convert into Python bytecode, which is debug okay. And then here interpreter which we have, which is a Python virtual machines, convert binary code, machine code into the computer. So this is needed. But you know what? You need your own virtual environment. So then you to run your application, mainly you do that for running the large applications. So you can also do that. Create a different. Here I created my virtual machine DevOps code. So that also you can do that. So virtual environment, it can be created. Here, this is the utility for creating a virtual environment.
So
Got
that
it?
is the utility for creating the virtual environment. I keep on
Yeah.
changing it, right, for running different application, different environment.
Yes. Yes. So you can
Uh,
customize also. Let's say you want to load certain things in the virtual environment. So you can do that also.
it's just setting the path, right, Rajesh? Which folder, which application you're running, and different folders, different
Yeah.
applications.
See, see here. Here you are saying there's a one default will be there all the time. But
Okay.
let's say you want to run in this environment only, and this environment you can call it XYZ. So here you can give okay, create one different environment. Here you are
Okay.
creating it your own environment, and then you are using all the time. See here, you are always using the all the time
Okay.
to run the Python program in that environment. But
Okay.
one is default. Rest of the things you can use it for your purpose. Right
Uh,
now, in order to learn Python, you don't need to get into this, but in future, if you're running
okay.
multiple applications in the one server, then you
Okay.
need separate. So what will happen while creating virtual environment? You are not sharing the one application's data with other application data. Here what will happen, when you run applications like that, you'll share all the objects, methods, I mean all these things with the. So if you create separate environment, you will not share that. So that way you can do that.
Okay. I actually in
See
my
here, look at
yeah.
this here. Win VENV module support creating lightweight virtual environment, each environment with their own independent set of Python packages. Python package means the one which you are writing the program,
Okay.
installed in their site directory. So you want to run multiple applications, separate environment, not sharing this, then it's good. It's good to use it.
Okay. One practical problem, Rajesh, like in my current setting, wherever I set this virtual environment, they converted the directory into read only now. So now they're given a different environment, but my program is referencing to the read only thing. Now how do I handle it? Do I need to delete? I cannot delete the previous environment, virtual environment, because it's
I need to check that. So can you just put this question in the chat box, WhatsApp
okay.
group,
Yeah,
and let me take it offline.
sure. Thanks.
Okay, more questions, guys, all of you.
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.